we talked about active, eventful. For the Dallas Stars, a couple of big names joining the club. Ryan Suter, 4 years, $14.5 million. Braden Holtby, Stanley Cup champion goalie, 1 year, $2 million. What about the state of Holtby's game today, Panger?
Well, I think that there's some things in his game that need to get tidied up. But the one thing you can say about Braden Holtby that is, I think it has been so consistent in his game, is how competitive he is, how he battles for everything. I mean, you saw one of those saves. That was one of the greatest saves of the season. He will never give up on a play. And so, you know, I think going to a more structured team and a team right now in Dallas that their expectations are getting back to the Stanley Cup final. Their expectations are winning a Stanley Cup under Jim Nill and that staff. So, I mean, I think going there is going to be a good thing for him. And he's also got kind of a three-headed monster going on here, too. You've got Hudobin, and that's the #1 guy. I mean, you know, it doesn't look like in the future here anytime soon that Ben Bishop's going to be a player in the NHL. It's a good sense that he's going to start the season on long-term IR. Obviously, that's why they needed Holtby. And you've still got Jake Ottinger, a former first-round draft pick. So I think he's a perfect complement to what they have there in Dallas. And it's a safe play. It's a good play. He's a good person, and obviously he's been a winner and won a Stanley Cup.
Grimmer, how about Suter?
Yeah, interesting ad. I think it really will be. Time will tell. I think fit is everything here. It's is it a Heiskanen pairing, Heiskanen-Suter pairing? Is it a Klingberg-Suter pairing? I think that will tell a lot. And two, I think as much as anything, it's the mindset for a guy like Ryan Suter. He comes out of a situation in Minnesota. He went in to Minnesota. He's the guy. It's a big and it's a long-term deal. He really was the principal piece, along with Parise, going into that dynamic. And now, the situation ending in the way that it did, it's almost a situation where he needs to adapt a different role, a different mindset in a somewhat modified role. Doesn't necessarily have to be the guy on the back end, though he may, you know, prefer that that's kind of the dynamic around him or the luster around him. I don't know. I think a lot depends on the way he inserts himself into the mix here. I think that as much as anything will tell us whether that's a long-term answer, or key to unlocking success for Dallas.
Stu, do you think going into on another team, when they signed that deal, he and Zach Parise, I mean, we talked about that for a long time and how they orchestrated that and how they both went back home and you know, so they had a lot of control. That's a $100 million deal. Do you think going to Dallas, I'm just kind of picturing him going into Dallas, and he's kind of an even-keeled guy, you know. He just does his work, and I think knowing that it's not his group on the back end. He's but he's going to be looked upon as a real leader with these guys. I think it's going to be a really good fit for Dallas because he doesn't do anything wrong.
No,
he's not a high-risk guy. He just is a real solid guy, and he can still skate and he's still strong.
Yeah, no question about it. The skill set is still there without question. I think it's as much a cultural fit, a personal dynamic on how he integrates there overall. Again, it's coming in on a slightly different kind of a backdrop. It'll be interesting to see the way this works going forward. I'm really curious.
Pretty good D group.
Still, that's a solid top four without question.
Miro Heiskanen, I would pay to watch you play. You're so good at hockey.